one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. This gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these 2 words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps because they know what happens next. So without further ado,
Free smoke.
look. Scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much I have you doing with admit to me.
That's another root of human struggle, worrying about other people's perceptions about who you are. Like, why would you ever care about that, you know? And I think that I fell victim to that in my past, of worrying about things that I can't control. You know, if the people understood what words could do to a human being, especially where we are in today's society, then they wouldn't be invested in that.
Welcome back, or welcome, because you know it could be somebody's first time. I appreciate you for joining me though on another episode of the recap. We are recapping Monday Night Raw. This video should have been here 2 days ago. 2 days ago. It has been a very busy time in my life though. I can imagine it's going to be very busy going forward, but you know, we keep grinding. Monday Night Raw. Got to get this out before we do the SmackDown, because it's the road to WrestleMania. So these next 7 weeks, I believe, are ultra important for storytelling and building the hype for WrestleMania. And I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? John Cena turning heel. We back in the game. Not that John Cena turning heel really did much for me. Like, it was a great thing to me. I don't, like I said on my Elimination Chamber recap show, I don't know if it's like, it's definitely one of the more shocking, one of the most stunning moments in WWE history, but I'm not ready to say if it's like one of the, I done seen people say this like the greatest moment in WWE history, or different type of terms. I don't know if I'm ready to say those things yet. Like I said, I want to see how it play out. If Cena don't win at Mania, this not gonna, I'm gonna feel like this was a wasted heel turn for Cena especially. But if he wins at Mania, and then he go on like a tour of just doing movies, and he, like, if he go hold the WWE Championship hostage, basically, I'm super intrigued by that. Then to me, this will have been one of the greatest heel turns, or one of the greatest like stories, or I don't know about stories, but we a long way from knowing if it's a great story, but it'll definitely be one of the greatest moments in WWE history. If Cena go on to have like a, it don't even have to be like a year-long run, but it's got to be at least, if he win at Mania, he got to hold that title for at least 4 or 5 months. At least till SummerSlam. Nonetheless, we kicked off the Raw after, basically, even though I know it wasn't on Sunday. This was the first Raw since the Elimination Chamber, and it was a lot of ways this show could have kicked off. I'm not going to lie to you, but it kicked off with CM Punk coming to the, I was about to say ring, but he actually went to the announcer table and stood on top of it. And I guess you could say he was about to drop a patented CM Punk pipe bomb. Now, the next things I'm about to say is probably not going to make a lot of people happy, because I understand CM Punk has a huge following. I get that. But I'm not going to lie to you. CM Punk pipe bombs are one of my least favorite things in wrestling, I believe. Like, the first time he did that shit all those years ago, I probably was in high school when he first did it, and he sat at the top of the ramp, and you know, he sat Indian style, as they used to call it. I think you can't say that now, so I was told that's racist to say that. So when he sat down and crossed his legs, crisscross applesauce, as they say, and he dropped that, infamous pipe bomb. Now, it was cool at the moment. It was cool. I didn't really, at the time, I was a fan, and I wasn't like, I wasn't looking at all the things that we know that come out about wrestling now, like all the behind the scenes things, how people treat people, and things like that. We weren't privy to that before. I don't even think if we were, I would have gave a damn. I was just watching the product to be entertained. But the older I got, I mean, the CM Punk pipe bombs, to me personally, I always try to keep my personal feelings out of this because it's wrestling at the end of the day. Like, you can't take this shit too serious, in my opinion. I know some fans do, but I don't. But I understand when, like the people who get mad at like certain wrestlers who do real life fucked up shit. Now, to me, it's an extent on what you do. Like, I don't like when somebody make a mistake and then that's held against them for the rest of their career. And you never want to give them a second chance. Because you usually don't do that to people you like. Because Jeff Hardy done drugs for a long time. And I'm not going at none of these wrestlers I'm going to talk about. But these are fan favorites that have gotten chance after chance after chance. And when you aren't a fan favorite or haven't been given the time to become a fan favorite, any little thing you do, because I'm not talking about like committing some crazy crime outside. Like if you commit some crazy crime, you know what I'm saying? But having slip ups here and there in life, as we all do, I don't like it when fans, try to kill somebody's career off of shit like that. But nonetheless, back to CM Punk. I try to keep my personal feelings and whatnot out of it. But in reality, it is annoying to me listening to a pipe bomb, because the way I look at CM Punk's pipe bombs is the exact same way I look at Daniel Bryan's pipe bombs, basically, or any wrestler that go around bitching and complaining. Because it would be one thing if I thought CM Punk at that time was being genuine. We all thought CM Punk was genuine. Like, what a pipe bomb, bro! So much emotion. He's speaking for the little man. But now in 2025, looking at CM Punk and Daniel Bryan's career, it is very clear them niggas just was mad that they weren't the John Cena's or the Roman Reigns. They wanted to be the guy. And when it was time for CM Punk to start putting niggas over, he didn't like it and he left. I just don't take pipe bombs serious. Now, I'm not telling you that I completely hated the pipe bomb, I guess, if that's what we calling it, that CM Punk hit before the show. What I'm saying is, I wish they would stop giving him the freedom to just go on tangents on the mic. I don't personally care to hear a CM Punk rant every time he get on the mic, just because we know the type of... I don't know this nigga. So I can't tell you for certain we know the type of nigga this nigga is. But when you listen to all the stories... This is why I say, bro, we are overexposed, bro. They give us just way too much. But when I'm not taking away nothing from wrestlers who go on podcasts and different shows and they done talked about the experiences they done had with CM Punk and yada, yada, yada. And I understand people can change. But just when you hear all of this stuff that has been said about CM Punk over years, when you look at how he done talked about wrestlers and whatnot, to me, it is very clear. CM Punk never cared about the little man, bro. CM Punk cared about CM Punk. And that's fine. But what he ended up doing, what he and Daniel Bryan did, I don't want to say manipulate because this is wrestling, but it really is, because they took this further than wrestling in the sense of they played on y'all emotions, yo. They used the way that y'all feel about yourselves to give them pity and elevate them. And good for them, because they had a yes movement, and CM Punk had his thing going for as long as he did. It turned both of them into legends. But I just want to point out, the same way people rock for CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, there are other wrestlers who done come out who basically complain, because I'm going to call it what it is. They did the same thing CM Punk and Daniel Bryan did. Complained and bitched about other people they felt they were better than other people, and other people were getting opportunities they felt like they should have got. Old bitch ass type shit. Well, when wrestlers do that now, if it's not a favorite, fans call them out on it. They never call CM Punk and Daniel Bryan out on it. I think I say this all the time when it comes to this shit. It's annoying listening to people tell me, oh, well, CM Punk deserve it because he worked harder than XYZ. Bro, you're not in the gym with these niggas, bro. I understand you have a certain type of way of it. For one, CM Punk has been in the game for a long time now, so he gonna have a bigger fan base than a lot of the young wrestlers anyways. But what I'm saying is, I believe that you guys let your fandom, for whatever reason you fall in love with certain wrestlers, yo. I just believe y'all allow them to get away with shit you just don't allow other wrestlers to get away with. Which is why I'm saying I wish that his promos were more pointed. Like, I don't care what CM Punk feels about John Cena or The Rock. I really don't. Like, I understand it was a big thing to have those. He said something so jaw-dropping in these promos before, but when I hear him talk about The Rock and Cena in certain ways now, to me it just sounds like he bitching and complaining. Like, my boy, you the one who still walked away from the WWE, bro. Like, you quit. Like, who knows what you would have turned, what your career would have been at this point if you had to just stayed, like, and didn't walk out on that moment because you had to lose to Roman Reigns at the time, probably. Like, to me, and what's crazy is I know he can stay on topic because when he called The Rock and John Cena bald-headed, that shit was hilarious. John Cena's not bald, but come on now, you see that bald spot. So to just go ahead and jump out the window and call the nigga bald-headed, period, is hilarious to me. I like that. But, you know, bitching about The Rock coming back and strong-arming his way into the title picture and John Cena be away, like, my nigga, I just think that trope is so tiring because fans actually believe this shit. Like, fans take this shit deeper than what it's supposed to be taken as. CM Punk knows that maybe CM Punk doesn't actually. So let me use a different thing. Most people understand The Rock and John Cena paid their dues. The Rock was here the attitude doesn't happen if The Rock was a part-time wrestler. The Rock wrestled in his prime when he was a wrestler and it was his everyday job. He was there every Monday, Friday, or whenever they were scheduled. When John Cena was in his prime, when he was a full-time wrestler, he was there every Monday, Friday. It is insane to call The Rock and John Cena part-time wrestlers or to get annoyed and feel as though they should not be able to walk in and do. I will never subscribe to this, oh, we should always put the young guys up. Bro, you have legends and vets for a reason. You need them motherfuckers. And John Cena and The Rock are not taking opportunities from other people. Like, this stuff is annoying when I hear people buy into stuff like that, because the reality is I've never heard anybody say, well, CM Punk taking opportunities from younger wrestlers. I've heard that not one time. Daniel Bryan's taking out. I've never heard that. Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy are champions right now. I've never heard anybody say, man, Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy old as hell. Why ain't they elevating talent and not keeping putting the titles on somebody else instead of always winning them? I've never heard it. But when it comes to wrestlers that you don't like, or wrestlers, which this new generation of like teenagers and whatnot, their hate for The Rock is very weird. I'm gonna be honest, I really don't understand their disdain for The Rock. It's very funny how some people allow, like, if they don't like a Rock movie, then I just don't like the Rock as a person. Like, it's very weird. Like, their fandom is not built off of like wrestling. It's built off of like things that they feel like they know this person, so now they come into this with a preconceived, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's very weird because, again, don't know these niggas. It's very weird, but nonetheless, it's just weird when I hear CM Punk go those routes and talking about, because, you know what I'm saying? Like, who is this? Like, I understand this new young generation, that the ones that cried about Cody and, you know, last year at Mania, but what true wrestling fan has a problem with? For one, The Rock feel like he done elevated every single thing he done since he done came back. That's the first thing. Two, why would you not want the greatest, if not one of the greatest, however you feel about it? The Rock is up there. Why would you not want him back? Like, that, it just doesn't make sense to me, because especially seeing as how Are these things said or thought about if Stone Cold comes back and wins the title Monday? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just a weird thing to get upset about legendary wrestlers at that. Like, we're not talking about Hurricane Helms coming back. We're talking about John Cena and The Rock. Not to mention, The Rock is not even an active wrestler. He basically playing like an authority role, which elevates this because you need a big bad like that since Roman isn't there. Also, I don't, for the life of me, what is the difference between CM Punk actually leaving the WWE, like quitting, and The Rock and John Cena just basically retiring out of the WWE? They never left the company. Y'all talk about loyalty all the time. They never left. They never dipped on y'all. They just eventually got to the part where their body could no longer do this on an everyday basis. So they graduated basically into Hollywood. But this is the craziest part about all of this. We know that The Rock does not need the WWE. Like, that is a fact. John Cena, or we know for a fact The Rock don't need it. But I'm going on a limb and saying neither John Cena nor The Rock need WWE anymore. Both of them are very established in Hollywood now. John Cena do multiple things. He with DC. We know The Rock, if not, I think The Rock like the biggest earning male in Hollywood. So like, neither of these niggas need WWE anymore. The Rock is what, close to 60, and he's still doing this. Like, come on, bro. Like, at some point in time, you niggas just gotta learn to appreciate greatness. I don't understand. And not only that, these niggas elevate how you feel about your favorite anyways, because you would much rather Cody Rhodes beat niggas like Roman, The Rock, Cena than a Hurricane Helm. I'm sorry, Hurricane. I ain't trying to throw you under the bus like this by continuously using you as the example. For some reason, you're the only nigga Tozawa. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? He beat Akira Tozawa. What does that mean to you? Nothing. So, I don't know, man. That's where I get a little off with the CM Punk pipe bombs. But when he was talking about Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch and his little jab, when he didn't really take a jab at Becky Lynch, he just basically said her name to hit Seth. I don't mind those. Like I said, I don't mind the ball line that he hit Johnson and with, but I just really wish he would keep it focused and pertaining to the person he, got his beef with. Now, he and Seth Rollins, when Seth Rollins' music hit, this nigga jumped off the table and immediately ran up there to meet CM Punk. To meet Seth Rollins. Because at this point, it's no longer on site. Because the nigga had dipped up there before he'd even saw Seth. He heard Seth's music and said, I believe Seth is about to pop up, so it's on site. Do you understand that is more than on site? That's on thought at this point. He thought Seth was going to show up, and it was triggered. Amazing hatred for one another. And they continued this brawl lasted a while. The thing that's great about this feud between the two of them, it feels so real, and it could possibly be real. We done heard about how Seth don't like CM Punk in real life. The stuff CM Punk said about them. Maybe they done made up at this point in time and they just really great at looking like they hate each other. Regardless if it's real or not, it feel real, and that's what's important. But it's, what this remind me of? Peter Griffin and that chicken. You know how it is with them niggas? How it's always on site? That's kind of what it feel like with Seth and CM Punk. That's what it feels like. I'm not going to lie to you. Because later on in the night, they met backstage and they got to scrapping once again. Now, Adam Pearce is up to his wit's end with this shit. He can't take it. He's a GM. He's got so many things to deal with, but he just can't deal with this shit. Now, I'm going to tell you what's interesting about this, because Adam Pearce eventually, him and Seth, they ended up confronting each other, I guess you could say. And Adam Pearce ended up making a match for next week in Madison Square Garden, which was a shocker to me because I just knew he was going to say a matchup at WrestleMania. But he made the match at Madison Square Garden, which Roman Reigns has to be involved some way, somehow, if this wasn't made for Mania. I think this is about to end up being a triple threat match for Mania. It's going to be Roman taking on Seth, taking on CM Punk. I think that's going to end up being a match at Mania because I cannot imagine why this match will be taking place next week rather than taking place at Mania. Which would only tell me that Seth Rollins dropping. See, I was on Seth's side. Then that nigga said, I'm going to stop you from going to Mania like I did Roman Reigns from going to the Chamber. And that's when I remembered, I can't stand this nigga. And so it put me at a real crossroads. I'm not going to lie to you, because I don't want to root for CM Punk. I don't want to root for Seth. They both have done my tribal chief dirty. CM Punk, I try to... anyways. Nonetheless, they made this matchup. Adam Pearce made this matchup. The way Adam Pearce was talking to Seth, telling him to finish it and yada, yada, yada. It kind of made me feel like Adam wanted Seth to win. Like he want him to take out CM Punk. That's kind of what it felt like. Imagine if Adam Pearce ends up being like a heel GM. Like what if The Rock end up making him a heel GM too? That shit'd be lit. I'm not gonna lie to you. If WWE just start having heels run crazy. Actually, I'm not gonna like that, because then they gonna want Roman to come back and save everybody like he a babyface, and I do not want babyface. Well, you know what? Roman is really a tweener nowadays. So even when he not necessarily a complete heel, he not necessarily a babyface completely. But the fans love rooting for him now. The fans are a conundrum though, so you can't take fans too serious. But all of that led up to a match next week. I'm imagining that will be the main event next week in Madison Square. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. But I could be. Gunther took on Otis next. And before the match started, Gunther was talking shit on the mic. And I don't know what they're going to do with Otis going forward. I really don't. But it almost made me feel as though they probably have plans for Otis going forward. Because Otis just could be just great character development by Gunther as far as his mic work and whatnot. Pre-match, when Gunther was talking shit, he said a couple things that I love. For one, he called the audience a degenerate audience. I love it when people got good little barbs at the audience. I love it when The Rock tell them they got an STD or tell them to smoke some crack or something like that. I love it when fans get hit with good little witty jokes by the wrestlers. But when he called them a degenerate audience, that shit had me. I was like, that is funny. But then he turned his attention to Otis. And he got some fat jokes off on Otis. However, the joke that I really liked, or the line that I liked, is when he said, they are not cheering for you because they like you. They are cheering for you because they pity you. Now, I love that line, because if they trying to do something with Otis, that should be a thing that Otis think about. Like, why do they cheer for me? I lose all the time. I come out here and I vibrate and shake and lose. I get the crowd going a little bit and lose. So why are they cheering for me? It'd be very interesting if they take Otis on that little arc. Like, why are they cheering for me? Are they cheering for me because they like me, or they do pity me? And that's what's interesting to me, because Gunther said to him during the match, you could be great. You could be so much better. Show your strength, Otis. I love that type of development right there from Gunther, because this is what I'm talking about when I say both people supposed to look good coming out of this. If this is a way to start a build, even if it's turning Otis heel, because I could see Otis turning heel for Gunther if they continue to build this. And what I like about this is if almost everybody in every show feel like they got something going on, it's just going to make the show so much better, yo. I'm just telling you. It's going to make Monday and Friday nights feel like you got to be there. But this was a good match, and it was a longer match. So that's why I feel like it wasn't just throwaway lines. Now, it could have been just throwaway lines, but because obviously Gunther is dealing with Jay, and we'll get to Jay in a second. But he could have just went in here and mocked Otis. Like he didn't have to say any of that. He didn't have to say any thought-provoking things to Otis. He could have just simply called him fat and just kept calling him fat, a loser. But he said, you could be better. You could be great. Show your strength. Like, he wasn't even calling him like a clown. He wasn't calling him a loser. Well, he kind of was, but he was telling him, you got greatness in you. And what if Otis go home and say, bro, they cheer for me because they pity me. They see me the way they see themselves, as losers. That's why they hate him, because they don't see themselves like him. But they see me and they think, oh, I can be an Otis. I'm an Otis. I'm telling you, it could be great character development. But after Otis ends up losing this match to a powerbomb by Gunther, Tozawa came in to check on Otis, and then Tozawa ended up getting his ass whooped. Now the problem is, or well, not necessarily the problem that Tozawa was about to face was he was about to be deceased from this earth. He wasn't going to be here no more because Gunther was about to powerbomb Otis onto him. That was going to be straight hell. Luckily for him, Jey Uso came out to save him. Jey Uso came out, made the save, but then Team A-Town Down Under came, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, and they jumped Jey Uso. Now, Jey Uso is the contender for the title, so you have to understand in wrestling terms, he is about 3-4 niggas. So he was able to handle Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. The problem is, Gunther, being the champion, is a heel champion at that, is of the highest IQ on the Dastardly chart. So he knew that was his opportunity to capitalize once those two guys distracted Jey. And to capitalize, he did. You see, in wrestling terms also, while Jey may be 2-3-4 niggas, the champion can minimize you back to just one nigga. And that's what happened in that moment. And that set up Jey Uso later on in the night making a very ill decision when he walked outside in the cold with no shirt on. That's neither here nor there, though. It set up Jey saying, I don't know why I was going to say it set up a match, but it had Jey on a microphone in the back with Kathy where he said he now more focused than he ever been. Jey, I really don't like hearing that because you should have been focused before. I mean, Gunther has done nothing but touch gold since he's came to the main roster. So that should have focused you up right there. But, you know, it is what it is. I do like Jey Uso's new shirt. I did not like any of his previous shirts with the big yeets on them and shit. This one is a better looking shirt to me. The third match of the night was the Women's Intercontinental Championship match. Now, this was between Lyra Valkyria and Ivy Now. Ivy Now. And Ivy Now basically worked on the leg of Lara the entire match. So this became one of those matches where Lyra was trying to see if she could overcome the leg. And she did end up overcoming it. Had some nice little near falls. Ivy Now did a nice German suplex. But in the end, Lyra ended up winning this match. She retained. I'm a big fan of, I like Ivy also, but I really like Lyra Valkyria. Here's my one thing though. I don't like her finisher. And I think her finisher is called the Nightwing. It's not that the finisher don't look good. It's just that it don't look like a dominant, like it don't look like when she hits you with it that's what's going to end the match. Not to mention, it kind of looked like Bianca's finisher. How Bianca's KOD towards the back, like the end of the KOD where she finna flip him over. That's kind of what that looked like. So I feel like I'm expecting that, but that's never what happened. And Lyra's finisher may even hurt. I just don't think it have the impact like some of the other finishers we see. Like when we see somebody hit a spear. Or when we see Bianca hit a KOD. Or when we see Baron Corbin when he used to hit when he hit the deep six. Or when he hit the end of days. To me, it's just, I would like to see, like, look at Sol Ruka on NXT when she hit her shit. To me, it's just certain finishers, the RKO, like when you hit it, it feel like it's over. And we don't know it's over just because you hit the finisher. We know it's over because the finisher looked like that's what should have ended the match. I don't get that when I see Lyra's finisher at the moment. Now, maybe it's one of those situations where she just got to retool it a little bit, just like when Liv kept doing the Oblivion. By the way, not only does Liv do the Oblivion great now, so it could just be one of them situations, because when Liv first started doing the Oblivion, it didn't look good to me. But now you look at her do it, it looks great. And she do it from so many different angles. But Liv also got a great code breaker. Like, I don't know if anybody performing the code breaker better than Liv right now. Like, her code breaker is legit. Like, that's one of the best things about Liv is body control. Liv and Bianca both, I like that they do this. They understand how to flail their body when they taking moves, when they getting hit with moves. The mannerisms or womanisms at the end of the moves that they perform. They know, bro, I just think they understand. So we talk about Austin Theory selling finishers. Just go look at how Liv and Bianca just sell everything. Like, they sell the moves they doing. They sell the moves the other opponent doing. If they hit you with a devastating move, you can see the umph on the move. Like when Liv hit that code breaker at the Elimination Chamber on Bianca, Look at the whole sequence of after she hit the light cover. Look at how the body manipulation after she hit it. It's just little shit like that I know people don't really care too much about or pay attention to. Shit like that to me matter. I just think when you start mastering all the little shit, you become Kevin Owens, basically. Look at Kevin Owens and how he done just mastered the little thing. And Kevin Owens, it ain't even that he done mastered all the little things in wrestling. He done mastered the fans. He understand exactly how to get them without bitching and crying to them, like going to the media. Okay, I gotta let that go. But to me, it's just, I like how certain wrestlers can manipulate their body to do what they needed to do, regardless. And not when it just come to taking a move, but even when they are performing the move, they know how to make this look even 10 times better. They turn a regular move that everybody can do to a move that specifically looks good because they did it. I love that. That's what I'm saying, basically, about Lyra's finisher. Next was a segment with Ludwig Kaiser and Penta. Ludwig, him being the heel, he talked some shit. Penta came out, hit him with a couple moves. Bada bing, bada bang. We had a LWO segment in the back with Rey Mysterio telling the New Day that you should have put us out. You should have taken us out. So it's going to be him and I think Dragon Lee teaming up next week to take on the New Day in Madison Square. I see no reason as to why this should not be. Two things. That match should be a number one contenders match for the tag team championships. Also, the second one I will get into in a second. The next match was the World Tag Team Championship matches between the War Raiders and the Creed Brothers, or American Made. This was a great match, which is not shocking to me because the War Raiders and the Creed Brothers are both phenomenal in-ring competitors. I think the biggest thing, Triple H for one, he must love Ivar and Eric. I think that's their names. He must love the Viking Raiders because these niggas done been champions under his tutelage since he done taken over. Like, matter of fact, Vince must have loved these niggas too. Because these niggas done been champions, I swear, through every iteration of them. Now, I believe that the biggest reason that fans, because the NXT crowd to me just ain't the same as the main crowd, even though people from NXT watch the main crowd. I think the biggest disconnect with the Raiders on the main roster for the longest time has been, how can I cheer for the Viking Raiders when that is not a gig? That's not really, and I understand wrestling is a fanatical type, or it's a fantastical type of thing. I don't even know if that's the right word or if that is a word. I know it's built on fantasy basically and storytelling. So the impossible is possible in this type of thing. I completely understand that. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying though is in 2024 or back in the day, being a Viking Raider is just fucking stupid. For the simple reason WWE just did not gimmick that shit right. For one, having Michael Cole tell you that they come out, rape, steal, and kill every week, because that's basically what he was telling you. That's fucking stupid. Because every time you tell me they ravage, pillage, and all this other shit, yeah, I know. Historically, Vikings rape, kill, steal. I know. That don't really do them no favors. That's the first thing. Two, you're trying to get, like, bro, the only way you're going to become like, yes, fans will like you if you are just great as an in-ring competitor. That is very true. However, there will come a point in time where fans want more than just you being able to be great in the ring. I don't understand why people fail to realize that. Storytelling is a big thing. Your character development is a big thing. I think that's what helped the War Raiders when they had that feud going on with the Prophets. They got to show their funny side and open up their characters. People just will not relate to niggas walking around wanting to be Vikings in the 2020s, bro. That gimmick was never had a lifespan on the main roster. And Vince knew that. That's why he kept repackaging them. Triple H know that. That's why he keep repackaging them. Now they're the War Raiders. We'll see how long it lasts. They have never gotten too far away from their original gimmick. I do think dropping Viking out of that shit is going to do wonders for them. And this is one of the rare occasions where something like that would not work to me. I just never felt like the Viking Raiders was ever going to work as constructed. And when they kept recycling the idea They didn't move far enough from it for it to truly be a different idea. So they still was getting punished for that idea, basically. The thing that's always kept the Raiders relevant is they are phenomenal in the ring, and they can put on a hell of a match. They ended up winning this match, and they hit some moves in this match. I am very intrigued because the New Day have been going back and forth with it on Twitter with the War Raiders. If the New Day win next week, I don't understand why WrestleMania would not be setting up to have a New Day Raiders matchup. And you know I'm going for the New Day. The New Day, excuse me. That to me gotta happen. That would be the kickoff WrestleMania. Oh my God, that would be such a... Plus, if you want to take Kofi and Woods to new heights as far as a heel gimmick, they gotta win at WrestleMania. They got to. And I think they should taunt Big E at WrestleMania or attack Big E after they win at WrestleMania. Either way, they have to take a W. They have to get those titles back at Mania. And I completely understand why the titles did not change. Because I understand a lot of people like the Creed Brothers. Some people might not even know the Creed Bros. But the people who do, they are going to be great champions one day. It is no doubt about that. Julius and Jesus Christ, I forget my boy's name. Both Creed brothers are phenomenal. They are both phenomenal. They are going to be multi-time tag champions one day. They're probably going to be single champions also. However, if the idea is to have, because I would not understand why LWO would beat the New Day next week. That would make no sense to me. LWO's got nothing going for them right now. The New Day is actually one of your top heels in the company right now. You have to push them far. I understand not having American Made take those titles. I feel safer going into WrestleMania with New Day taking on the Viking or the War Raiders, because I know what the War Raiders can do on these stages. I don't know quite yet if the Creed brothers can come through and have a great match, even though you're going to have it with New Day, so you're going to have a great match regardless. But I know for a fact I'm going to have a great match with the New Day and the War Raiders. So if that's the case, I'm not mad at that. That's going to be a phenomenal match, and I can't wait to see it if that's how they go. If the LWO win, I would be completely shocked. And since so much shocking shit done happened within the last, week? Not even week for the WWE. Wouldn't shock me. The next segment before we got to the last match of the night that I believe, because I didn't write anything else down after this, which means to me that the last match was after this. We had the Judgment Day Braun Strowman. It was really Braun Breaker and Finn Balor. Finn was talking crazy to him in the ring, and Braun was in the crowd. Braun comes down, makes his way down, and then all the different pieces of the New Day, which is funny, not the New Day, the Judgment Day. Earlier in the show, Finn was talking, he was trying to talk slick shit that Liv in the back. That shit was actually funny. Braun ends up getting the better of this encounter. He ended up spearing the fuck out of Carlito. I'm kind of confused with the Judgment Day. I'm pretty sure they are about to break this group up for a couple reasons. The niggas who started the group are no longer in it, except for Dom. But the real starters of the group was Rhea and Damian Priest. They are no longer in the group. I don't know where the fuck JD McDowell is. I guess I just missed that. Dom is in the group, but him and Liv and Raquel don't even feel like they really a part of the group. They feel like extensions at this point. Not to mention Liv feel bigger than the group, just like